What's going on, guys? Omar Alfaro. I'm here at one of our investment properties, but I'm going to tell you the details of how I acquired this new vacation rental, this Airbnb, this investment property. I'm going to give you all the details right now. So what you're seeing behind me is the after. This is a place that I wanted to have as my own, and for my family, for friends to come join, to come, enjoy the mountain here in Big Bear. And the story was that this property was back on, I think it was in January. It was in foreclosure for quite some time, and then I came and saw it. I think it was December, right before Christmas, just to check out the property to see if it was a decent house, if it wasn't burned. Because some of those properties that are in foreclosure or going through a trustee sale, meaning the previous owner didn't pay their mortgage. So the bank was going to auction the property. And long story short, or long story longer, the trustee sale date for this property was middle of January of 2021, sorry. And we came up, we inspected it, all was good. We actually found out that the door in the bottom was open. So we walked through it and we wanted to see the house. And it was such a cool looking place. I already had the vision of what we were gonna do to it. So fast forward to the trustee sale. That means that 3 months of the foreclosure was already happening. The initial person failed 3 months in a row. Then they went into a notice of default, which then 4 months later, then they get issued a notice of trustee sale. So for all you guys that don't know how that works, just kind of told you now. And that date for the trustee sale, to be able to make a bid on this house or any asset that goes to a trustee sale, you have to have cashier's checks, liquid money. Then you had to go to your bank and grab increments of $10,000, $20,000, $30,000, $100,000 checks to be able to qualify to bid at the courthouse steps. And I remember, like it was yesterday, it was a Thursday, and we were there at 10 o'clock in the morning waiting and waiting, and with an envelope full of cashier's checks made payable to myself so I can endorse it over to the trustee, meaning it was either First American or Chicago Title. Don't remember the exact servicing company that had the property. But long story short is we had to qualify. I had to show all of the cashier's checks. Obviously, I only had a certain amount, so that threshold, if it went over that threshold of money that I had, I wouldn't be able to win this property. And trust me, it started out super low. So I think the opening bid was $200,000. $200K for a really cool cabin in Big Bear. I was super excited. I'm sure you guys would be too if you had the opportunity to buy something that was worth, at that time, $400, $450 minimum for $200K. So obviously I had my intention to buy a really good deal. So we get there and we start making the bid. It starts out at $200K, then the next person $210, $220, $215, $230, $240, $260. It keeps increasing this whole time. And once we got to about $300, my threshold, just so you guys all know, was $350,000. Okay, that's what I had in cash or in cashier's checks, and that was it. So if it went over $350, I could not buy the house, and I would lose this beautiful opportunity in the mountains with an awesome view. So just stay tuned. So we go through the whole process and we're bidding, and then it was down to 3 people at the very end. Myself, another gentleman, and this one lady to my right. So we were all there and I'm like, yep, $1,000 more, $1,000 more, $1,000 more. I knew my threshold $350. I don't know theirs. One guy decides to back out at $335, $340. So I'm like, there could be a chance that I can still win this property. I was super excited. And sure enough, I said, you know what? I just got to go ahead and go all in. $350, here you go. I told the auctioneer $350. That was my bid. That was it. So if she went up $351, I lose it. So what happens? The guy that backed out, I said 350, this guy said 352, and then she said 353, and she was the winning bid. So I lost this house for $3,000, okay? $3,000. And I'm pissed off, and you know what? It sucks because it wasn't meant to be. But because I'm always aware of my surroundings, I'm like, you know what? There's got to be a way. And I hate losing. All of you guys that follow me, all of you guys that are in business, you just hate losing. I hate losing listings. I hate losing opportunities, all of the above. So super competitive, right? So I noticed just one name on this lady's sweatshirt. That's all it took. One name. I won't say the name, but it'll come up later. I saw the name, and I said, okay. I went ahead and I said, you know what? I lost. It's fine. It's okay. I was all right with it. But not before I was aware that she was wearing something that stated where she worked from, or who she worked at, or who she worked for. So I get in the car, and Alyssa and I, we start talking about it. I was pissed off. I had all my cashier's checks, and I'm just like, dude, we didn't get it. That sucks. So I was adamant to find out where this lady was, and I was hoping that she really was working for that company. So I did all my research, and I remember this because that same day I figured out a way on social media, on calling the phone number. I Googled it. I made sure I found out who this lady was. So she ended up working for that company, which is freaking dope. So what I ended up doing, I said, you know what, I want this place. I hate losing. I'll pay more money. It doesn't matter. Because you know, when somebody takes something away from you, you want it more. So especially when you're trying to win it, I was pissed. So I was like, I'm getting this property. That's it. So I left a message for somebody in the acquisitions department of this particular company. 4 or 5 messages, 3 or 4 emails. That follow-up with this property was freaking, it was white on rice. Literally, I wanted to make sure that I got this place handled. And I sent my offer. Sent my offer. He calls me back. I believe it was on a Monday, because this was Thursday. So the weekend passed. Sunday or Monday. And I was heading out to Yucca Valley, which is another property that we have out there. And he called me. He said, hey, this is so-and-so from so-and-so. I got your message, and yeah, we just acquired that property in Big Bear. Are you interested in making an offer? I said, absolutely, I am. What's it going to take? I gave him an offer before he told me what it was going to take, because I wanted to ensure that he was going to allow me to purchase the property before they start fixing it up and flipping it, because that's what they were going to end up doing, because it's a company that does that. I don't know if they really buy and hold, but I think they do both. So anyways, I offered him $415 out the bat. So 15 was it? I lost it for $330, $353. So I offered him $65,000 more without doing anything to the property. And he took it to his uppers and he said, yeah, no problem. We'll sell it to you for $415. Mind you, they didn't do nothing. They owned it for an hour or two. So they made a bunch of money. But the better part was about this. I talked to him and I developed a rapport with him. I actually even gave him a couple other properties for him to look at. So maybe his company will buy some of my other properties that I have, right? So he liked me. And he's like, you know what, this is cool, Omar. I appreciate you reaching out to me and you were adamant about this house. So check this out. I was able to secure this property that you see behind me in a normal type of purchase. I didn't have to pay cash for the property. I didn't have to take a bunch of cashier's checks out for the property. I ended up getting a loan on this property, which was even better, at a 3.3% interest rate on a second home or investment property. But the better part is that I had another property that was closing that I owned for a little while that I was doing a 1031 exchange on. And that just means that I'm deferring taxes on an investment property that I made, a couple $100K on in profit. I rolled it over into this property because that person let me get a traditional loan. And they were cool with it. They closed on the property, this one. They allowed me to purchase it without it even hitting the market. So I had zero competition. And it was it was the best of both worlds. I deferred taxes on my capital gains on another investment, put it all into this one. Now my payment here is super minimal, along with I got a locked in 30-year fixed at 3.3 or something like that interest rate. So this moral of the story is that if you are in a position that you're losing, or you didn't win, or somebody else beats you out, it doesn't mean it's over. It does not mean it's over. If I wasn't aware and if I wasn't understanding, like, hey, what can I do to truly make this happen? And all it took was something on a sweatshirt. Granted, if she was wearing something like I'm wearing now, no name on it, I would have never known that she was the person working at this one company. So just so you guys know how crucial and important that name was to me, now this property, after we fix it and everything, is worth about $650,000. I bought it for $415,000. I invested a good chunk of money, so now I'm sitting on even more equity because I was aware of who my competitor was and who I lost to. She wasn't better than me, so I was just a little more creative than she was. She was just the person that was working for the company. I went around her, figured out who the main bosses were, and got the property. So just like in anything, guys, in your business, in your listing appointments, if you're a realtor listening, or if you're an investor that you didn't get a property, it doesn't matter. There's going to be another one. Your skills don't dictate necessarily why you didn't get that one property. It doesn't. But it's your creativity and to think past everything that will end up getting you opportunities like this one. Is this one super rare? 100%. This is why I'm bringing it to you, because this is freaking phenomenal. So you guys know, again, in recap, persistence got me this property, and at the same time I was able to offset some taxes. I hope that you guys got some value out of this, and if you guys, I'm going to be able to give you guys more content. Go ahead and click the link, subscribe to my YouTube channel. We're going to be bringing a lot more content, along with breakdowns of all the properties that I end up buying, flipping, keeping, Airbnb like this one. And thank you very much for listening, and I'll see you guys all real soon. Take care.